All right, y'all. I just did a timing advance to this G660 last night. So that means I'm probably going to have to retune it. But what I wanted to do was use this as the I'm telling y'all, I can't think for nothing right now. Use this opportunity to do a chainsaw tuning video. Not really doing this for everybody on YouTube, but I'm gonna post it to YouTube, so if it helps you, benefits you, great. Make sure I'm recording here. I guess I'm recording. Yes, I am. But like I was saying, if it benefits you, then great. But I'm really doing this for a couple of my local companies and for to teach their employees how to tune a freaking saw so they don't burn one up. All right, so I don't know if I should just do it like the way I do one completely and show you the whole steps, or just show you how to fine tune one. But I'm just going to do the whole video. So what I do after I port one, or after I make some major changes in flow, is I take everything all the way back in. So I'm screwing everything all the way in, even the idle screw. So I'll take that idle screw and I'll go all the way back in. Until it bottoms out. Think that's bottomed out? Nope. Well, that thing had to come out a mile, didn't it? Let me put this down. All right. Idle screw all the way in. What is going on here? Am I even on the screw? Heck no. I may have picked a bad one to show this on. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop this baby out and then get straight to it. Now I will put it back in whenever it's running because it's a lot harder to find these screws without this. Alright, so idle screw all the way in. Bottomed out. Whenever I bottom out, I am going to make a mark on my screwdriver, which on this one is going to be the mark where it actually says still. And then I am going to take 2 revolutions back out. 1. That's 1. And that's 2. The low jet, I'm going to go all the way in. Till it bottoms out. There it is. No, there, no, it's still going. I see why it's such a pain in the butt now. You don't really want to stay in the slot. All right, bottomed out. The low jet, from bottom, I come back out 1 1/4 turns. 1. Get in the screw. This thing does not like staying in the screw. 1 and about 1/4. The high jet, I do the same thing. Bottom it out. And then I come out 1 1/4. All right. That is how you do a factory reset, pretty much, give or take. Some saws are a little different. Pullins, like the cheap pullins, man, you better come out 2 turns. If you want to be anywhere close to getting that thing to fire off, you better come out 2 turns on the high and the low. Echoes like a little bit more too, especially once you do a muffler mod. Once you muffler mod, say a 620 or a 590, you better come out 2 turns. You know, factory 1 1/2 turns, but once you do that muffler mod, man, that's why they get such a gain off of a muffler mod, because it really opens them up. So it needs more fuel. All right, so idle screw all the way in, back out 2. Low jet and high jet all the way in, back out 1 1/4. That's how I factory reset a carburetor. Now, let's fire her up. This thing's got some compression. That sounded like a pop. That's one thing. Steel chainsaws, steel clone chainsaws, anything that might resemble a steel. If you think you hear a pop, do not pull that damn thing over on choke again. These are very, very easily flooded. So don't do it again. If you think you heard a pop, go ahead and move that thing into fast idle. Do yourself that favor. So it had good throttle response. It did not have crisp throttle response. And it also had a very throaty, gurgly sound to it. It means it's rich. It's too much fuel. You need to lean it out. And leaning it out is screwing it in. Screwing a screw to the right leans it out. It restricts fuel, gives it more air. Turning the screw to the left gives you more fuel to your air mixture. So you're not really controlling your air flow, you're controlling your fuel flow in order to get the proper mixture for your air and fuel ratio. So, again, it had that thick, gurgly sound to it. It had throttle response, but it didn't have crisp throttle response. So we're going to adjust that low jet first. You're going to adjust it until you get quick throttle response. You want it to go wah, 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 not wah, wah. You don't want it grunty. You want to hear it sound like a racer. You want to hear it go wah. So you're going to adjust that low jet, and because it's rich, we're going to screw it in to get that quick throttle response. We're not going to mess with anything else yet. So let's do that. So I got that quick throttle response that I wanted. It was too rich. I leaned it out a little bit. When I say a little bit, y'all, when you adjust a carburetor, if you move it that much, you've changed everything. It does not take a lot of movement. A 1/16 of a turn makes a world of difference when it comes to fine tuning these. All right, anyways, back to it. So I adjusted my low jet. I got my quick throttle response. What this chain is doing does not matter. The only thing that matters is it stays running and that I'm getting the quick pa, pa, pa whenever I hit that throttle. Once I do that, now I'll worry about this chain spinning. And same thing, the chain spinning is going to be adjusted by the idle screw. Man, I got something in my nose driving me crazy. All right, so I got my low jet set. I want to adjust the idle, which you'll hear that change. But the main thing I'm looking for is I want this chain to pretty much stop. If it has a small little creep to it, I'm okay with that. But I want it pretty much stopped. And I'm going to do that by richening, not leaning out, but richening my throttle, my idle. Your idle adjustment is kind of what just keeps it smooth and mellow, right? So it's too lean. That's why it's kind of staying high RPM-ish at the idle. So I'm going to give it more fuel. I'm going to richen that mixture up. It's going to take longer to burn. It's not going to be that high air mixture. It's going to be more of a fuel efficient or fuel regulated idle. So I'm going to give it more fuel in order to slow down that idle and get that chain where I want it. Here we go. So, there's a lot of movement on that idle. I probably could have resolved not having to move that so much by giving it more fuel on the low jet. It's just something that you'll learn as you get better at it. I just want to show you the basics of how to get this running the way it should without burning it up and getting good throttle response out of your saw. Alright, so you see me got the chain stopped, but it still kind of had a high idle. Once you get to the point where it really does start making a change, you don't have to sit there and turn like I was. That's why you see me slow down at there towards the end, because then it don't take much but a micro adjustment. A little bit at a time till you get it to where you want it. You know, about 2,300, 2,000 RPM, somewhere. Some people like it lower, some people like it higher. I try to stay around 22, 2,300. It's just where I like my saws at. I don't tune by tack though, I tune by ear. I tune by response, feel, and by ear. Do it how you want to, I'm just showing you how this works. So once you do that, you got your low jet set, you got your idle set. Now it's time to do the high jet. The best way to do the high jet is in wood. That's the best way. However, I'm going to show you how to do it by ear. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to start it up, and I'm going to have my screwdriver in the high jet before I ever hit the throttle, right? So then, when I have it in place, I'm going to hit that throttle. Depending on how it sounds, if it has a real high pitch RPM, I'm going to give it more fuel. I am going to fatten it up because I don't want the high RPM. I want what's called four-stroking. Four-stroking is a gurgle. Instead of wah, it has that it's like it's stuttering. Woo, my gurgler didn't like that. Anyway, it's stuttering, it's gurgling. You want that gurgle. That gurgle is called four-stroke. You don't want too much of it though. If there's too much of that, if you're four-stroking too hard, it won't clean up in the cut. You want it to clean up in the cut, but you don't want that high rev. You just want it to be a good, smooth wah as it's going through. Not high pitch, not gurgling, but as it's in the cut, in the wood, you want it a good, smooth wah. If you're getting the high pitch, you need to give more fuel. If you're getting the gurgling in the cut, you need to give it less fuel. Lean it out. More fuel. Rich in it, less fuel, lean it out. That's how you do it in the cut. When you do it by ear, same thing. The way I like to do it is I'll have my screwdriver in the slot, I'll floor it. If I hear it four-stroking, gurgling, coughing real hard, I'm going to start leaning that thing out, holding that throttle down. And you want to do this quick. This isn't something you don't want to run. You never want to run a chainsaw full throttle out of the cut for more than like 15 seconds. Just don't do it. It's not good. And never do it cold. When you're doing this, make sure your saw is warmed up. Never tune your saw cold. Tune it warmed up. All right? There's a whole nother reason behind that. All right, we're not going into that right now. Anyways, I am going to lean it out. If it's gurgling, stuttering, I want to lean it out. I want to give it less fuel, more air. I want to get that RPM range up. I want it to go, and when it hits that high pitch, when it hits that no gurgling, no stumbling, high pitch, I don't want it there. I'm going to take it there because that gives me a threshold at which I want to be. I'm going to take it to that threshold, and I want to take that, and I want to take it and give it more fuel until it goes, when it hits that good, easy stumble, that good, easy gurgle, not hard and throaty, but you hear it going, da, 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 but you're hearing it softly, like it's going, when it hits that point, I know I sound goofy as hell. It's the best way I can explain it. When it hits that point, you're tuned. Don't go any further. Don't give it more fuel, because then you're robbing yourself of RPM in the cut. But you're four-stroking. As long as you are four-stroking outside of the wood, you want it four-stroking. You should not ever burn up a cylinder as long as you're four-stroking outside of the cut. In the cut, you want it to clean up. So you lean it out. It's got the high RPM range. You want to take it out of that high RPM by richening it, which is going to the left. You want to richen it to take it out of that high RPM band until it hits that gurgle, a good soft, steady gurgle. You don't want it just touching it, like you don't want to go, you don't want that. You want it to have a steady four-stroke, but just not a hard four-stroke. So we're going to take it down to that steady four-stroke, and that's where we're going to set it at. You can cut like that, but the best thing to do from that point is go put it in wood and fine-tune it. But remember, when you pull it out of the wood, you want four-stroke, and when you put it back in the wood, you want it to clean up. But here we go. That's how I tune a saw, for the most part. I'll refine it in the wood. but if you could hear it, I hope you could, because I could. I leaned it out until it had no stroke, no four-stroking at all, just a clean, high RPM. That's not what you want in the cut. And also, if you noticed, I didn't do it more than a few seconds at a time. So, lean it out, no four-stroking, clean, high range RPM, and then back it back out, richen it back up, give it more fuel until you hear it start doing that pop, that gurgle. That's where you want to be. You don't want it just touching it every now and then. You want it to stay. When it gets where it comes down to where it just stays in that easy little throttle gurgle or RPM gurgle, that's where you want to be. You can cut like that just fine. You'll get good performance as long as you can pick it up out of the wood and it makes that sound, and when you put it back in the wood, it stops. Cut like that all day long. You can fine tune it however you want. That's something you can learn with. So, but that is how you tune a chainsaw. And I'm fixing to go make a test cut with this because I've done a timing advance on it and I want to see how it's going to do. The customers that I ported this for, he wants to pull a 42-inch bar. I don't have anything near that size for a steel. So I have a 28 and I'm going to put it in some big rock hard oak and see how she performs. I'm thinking that timing advance is going to be a huge difference. So anyways, that's how I tune a chainsaw. I hope it helped you out. I know there's a ton of videos on YouTube about how to do this. Some people just understand other people differently. I'm not saying I explained it any better than anyone else. Maybe I just explain it in a way that helps you understand it. So that's how I do it. I hope you like it. Like and follow. And again, I made this video for my local companies who I do work for because I'm tired of them burning up saws. But if it helps anybody else out, I'm happy to do so. God bless y'all. Like and follow, and have a good